I'm left almost speechless after this episode of Rewrite. I know I'm a visual novel reader. I knew what was going to happen, but to see it actually, animated and seeing the new, anime original scenes thrown in that, give a bit more depth and change what I was expecting of, the order of events that were, going in and just, playing with my emotions. This episode was, I would say, one of the the best so far, and it can only go up from here. I mean, okay, so this episode of Rewrite is the end of the comedy. Uh, if they're going by any means, once the common route is over, the end of comedy is mostly dead. Some routes, whatever, may have some comedy, but this is where the comedy disappears and everything kicks into high gear, high emotion, and it won't stop until the end of the route. And oh man, this entire episode had me on the edge of my seat, had me gasping at the interactions of Kotaro, especially at the beginning of the episode when we find out that Inoue went missing. Kotaro never made any effort to find her. The city sent out a search party. He's being blamed once the information goes public. They couldn't find Inoue. The search party and the government, the government sent out a search party for her. They didn't find her. They're disbanding the cult club, and they're all going to blame Kotaro for her disappearing because it was well known that she and him had like a newspaper rivalry, and they need someone to pin the blame on instead of like the school, and instead of blaming her for her lapse of judgment into going into such a dangerous forest. And we get the feeling that they're gonna like, and that Akane, the president, uh, she disbands it officially, telling everyone that it's just for the best. Everyone agrees. Kotaro has that very passionate speech about why he doesn't want it to end, and from playing the game, I see why he doesn't want it to end, even though he doesn't know why he doesn't want it to end, the true reason. But it was just disheartening. And they said, "Oh, let's go. We can find it and clear the cult club's name and my name if we go find her." And that's what they do. And as predicted, this episode is where happy times are going to end, and there's no more happiness. Basically, this episode has the entire cult club go into the forest again to search for Inoue. And what they find there is Gaia and their monsters, which is all those giant dogs, and we get to see prehistoric dinosaurs and some sort of flying dragon. There, let's go into order. All the girls go, to go use the, go off to a private spot to use the restroom, like, do their private business. Kotaro blanks out for 30 minutes and goes looking for him. He gets attacked by those dogs because he finds a Gaia member in cloaked, and as soon as he runs after him, they set those huge dogs after him, and Kotaro runs away. He rewrites himself to be even faster than the dogs, but his body isn't used to it for a couple seconds. But he still manages to go even faster than before. But still, those are what we're gonna call familiars. That's obviously what they are. Oh, excuse me. That's obviously what they are, and they're much more faster than Kotaro is. And we get to see that Kotaro's strength is that he has rewritten himself before for his physical strength. As we get from the scene when he's running away from them, he punches one in the face and it flies backward with extreme force, but it still manages to go after him, showcasing how strong that those dogs are. And after he rights himself, even though he uses his awesome abilities to jump up, try to escape from them by jumping. I guess his idea was to, jump through the branches to escape from them. They're so fast. They jump into the air alongside him, knock him down, and they all start, going to kill him. They all target his legs. The biggest one target chomps on his arm, and that's when we get his power, his second power besides his rewrite ability. I won't be name dropping it, but visual novel readers like me will know what the ability is called. Oh man. And the way he gets it is entirely different from the visual novel. In the visual novel, he gets it when the dragon attacks. When he embeds itself into his arm, that's when the aurora first comes out, I think. I'm not too sure, but I think that's what happens. I haven't played the visual novel in so long, but I'm pretty sure this scene was kind of anime original only. The fight scene with the dogs. I could be wrong. I haven't played the visual novel in ages, so some of my information might be a bit spotty. But the scene with that had me on the edge of my seat, even though I already knew how it was going to end. I've seen those similar scenes before in the visual novel. Like, it has like a bunch of high stakes, scenes before, and they're all like you don't know how they're going to end because of how dark rewrite gets in the visual novel and the anime is going to get into that that dark, and everything's going to like all the happy times are going to end. And that scene where the dragon, where he tells everyone to run, you can just hear the desperation in his voice as he tells the rest of the group to run. Akane, Shihaya, and Kotori back to Shizuru and Lucia. And the desperation when he gets stabbed in the arm, he desperately tries to fight it, and he begins to suck out his blood. Prompts him, to fight back against it. But he knows it's a fruitless endeavor. And then his power comes back, his claws, which I'm going to say right now that that's not it can. It's a very cool ability that he has besides his rewrite ability, and that's like kind of what saves him. But then the flying dragon thing, starts attacking him with melee weapon, like into melee range, like assaults him physically, and he tries to fight off of his his claws, and he still gets owned. But we can also see how far the limits are, and we get the anime original scene of the ghost girl, which is named Kagari. Let's just say that for anime only people who have dropped this and are just watching to see what people think of it. That's her name, and he remembers a bit more about his past and how she killed him. And when he had the claws, he pointed them, and he was ready to attack her. And Kotori stops him from doing that, and we could see that she was ready. The ribbons were ready to like do the same thing to him that happened before. And the entire scene just like kind of like shattered my heart a bit. I was just like, oh. And then we get to the penultimate scene where everything's revealed. We find out that Agane and Chihaya and Sakya are part of Gaia, and everyone is getting all angry. Akane provokes Lucia on purpose to attack her, and Sakya comes out and blocks her vibrating blades, and he says that it's an interesting ability and that it might be a bit numbing, but that's all it is. So you can tell that Sakya is going to be pretty powerful for anime watchers only, and visual novels like me already know the scope of his power. But it just goes to show that the little nods that the director Tensho is doing, people might give him hate about the Grisaya adaptation for like the first season. The rest of the seasons, season 2 and season 3, when they're adapting the rest of the games, are perfectly fine. He just had that little issue of rushing through roots of the visual novel. Even though you didn't really need to do that for Grisaya no Kajitsu, but I can see why. He wanted to get everyone to know a bit more about the characters once they go into their respective arcs, especially in the second and third game, where they're all like they explore more of the background on them, and you wouldn't really understand. Now, I'm not saying that Tensho and I'm defending Tensho because even people are saying that he should be fired, it's a trash studio, but this episode is just episode on how he was pacing it deliberately. When people don't try to understand and just hate on the anime without trying to see why it's possible, why he's trying to do this, and even though it's his job, he's doing a tremendous job. Even though it might feel a bit rushed to people, might be still a bit feel fast. What can you expect? You can't expect like a 150, 80-hour visual novel with like a 30, 50-hour like I don't know like common root, probably even more depending on how long you read. Like 20, 30-hour common root, or faster if you're a pretty fast reader like me who gets into the roots pretty fast. He did a tremendous job, I guess, in my opinion. And this episode really shows, and also shows that he isn't a bad guy. He isn't a bad director. He has to make do with what he has. He has to make do with the hand he's been dealt with, and he's done a tremendous job. I don't know if he can speak English or has a translator on here, or even if he cares to watch this, but I think he's doing a tremendous job right now of this adaptation. Even though of all the hate, the English community is giving it, maybe the Japanese community, I'm not sure, but I'm guessing the Japanese probably know that they're trying to do the best, and they also know that visual novel adaptations are hard to do. I mean, I don't know. A lot of people like to rush to judgments from what I see in the anime community, and that's not a good thing. And people have dropped it because of how boring it is, how slow it is, even though it's deliberately paced that way, and you're supposed to be asking yourself more questions and theory crafting of what can like one of the mysteries that the anime has been presenting so far until the build up of episode 7, which is right now. And to see people just write it off as a simple harem anime or just another generic anime, or like, oh, it's 8-bit strikes again. No, 8-bit doesn't strike again. The director's doing his job. If oh my god, if a bad director was in like one of those amazing anime studios in Ufotable, even with amazing animation budget, if they have a terrible director, who cares about the animation if the story, the plot, everything just feels off? Okay, this is turning more into a rant, but this episode had me on the edge of my seat, and the ending, oh my god, the ending is the bad ending in the common route of the visual novel. All the girls disappear without saying anything to him, and he's left alone. And the visual novel, common bad route ends there. But this original route will branch off from that, and we'll get to see what Kotaro does to try to establish uh, contact with probably Shizuru and Lucia, or even Kotori, since the buildup is having him know more about Guardian and having him more, side with, Guardian. Because of how, those things, the dinosaurs and the familiar thing, or like the wolves, yeah, familiars, I'll just call them the familiar wolves, attacked him, and how, they attacked indiscriminately, and that they were protecting, Chihaya and Akane. And they could be also, you could come to the conclusion that, it was attacked by them as well, and possibly killed by those dogs. So, it just goes to show. There's so many subtle foreshadowing, subtle hints that, you know, if you have if you claim ADHD and you can't pay attention, then just rewatch the episode again. You'll get the episode, or something like that. Please, I don't know, but you can't just write an anime off of how bad it is because, if it's a bit rushed. I mean, there are plenty of animes that have plenty of like rushed episodes as well. And then you got people that are dropping it at the sign of first, like, the first signs, oh, if it's going a bit too fast, I feel, even though it's, what can you do? I mean, it's not a bad job. Tensho got the director, Tensho, that's his name. It could be, like, like a nickname, or it could be his actual, like, last name that he's using on his Twitter account, the official thing, like, the credits and all that. But, I think he's doing a tremendous job and all that. And this episode really got the key feels, um got me like worried about Kotaro and what he's going through, like the action scenes with the the dogs, the fly dragon, like the dinosaurs, and him, like the confrontations, especially the beginning of the episode where he doesn't want everything to end, like what was like all that, like he wanted to have everything other, and it almost brought me to tears. I was like seriously choking up, and this entire episode had me on the edge of my seat, even though I really knew what most of the scenes were. Just to see them in person, animated, and all of that was just a bit too much for me. It was like seeing your favorite scenes from Fate Stay Night. Yeah, Fate Stay Night is one of my favorite visual novels and probably one of my favorite series. I'm playing Fate Grand Order. I don't understand Japanese, but I like it. I play it. Even though the gacha rate sucks and I pull shitty crap cards, I still play it because I like it. I also get good luck and then pull some good stuff. Who knows? And the same goes for rewrite. You gotta have an open mind, and I'm guessing this generation of anime, like latest anime people, are like only like pay attention to close to the facts when everything spoon fed to them. I've mentioned this before, and I've seen others like YouTubers, anime reviewers like me who have like low sub counts compared to the big ones have the same opinion. It's like everyone is just like, you gotta pay more attention to the episode, and people don't really like. Everyone expects it to be spoon fed to you, like everything up at front, even though it's supposed to like keep you in mystery. Like what happened like the old days, like the old 90s animes, early 2000s, they had that suspicious, like you don't know everything from the start. Like Bleach, I'm pretty sure, from what I remember, it didn't explain everything up to you. Oh yeah, there's Shinigami, but they didn't explain to you all the Rancars or this or anything of that. Sorry for my phone, and you guys can hear that going off. But yeah, that's just my thoughts. I love this episode. I would give it a 9 out of 10. Possibly a 10 out of 10, but that would be a bit too much bias, but probably a 9 or 8. But I would rank it on the, if I had to rank it as high as I could, it would be a 9. The voice acting, for especially Kotaro's scenes, were brought out the emotion, and all the voice actresses also did a tremendously good job in this episode. So, leave a like, comment, subscribe, leave a comment down if I missed anything. Am I misinterpreting something? Correct me on some things that happened in this episode that I might have mixed up with the visual novel. We could discuss stuff in there, have a jolly old good time. It's me, Rayamo. I haven't used this one in a while now, for like probably like a week. I'm signing off right now. What else? Guys, gals, have a good day, night, morning, evening, afternoon, anywhere. This will be the end of this review. I can't wait for the next episode. I have no idea what they're going to do now, but I have high hopes, and Tensho's doing a good job. even though he has to deal with the cards he's been dealt with, and these other reviewers and anime watchers have to understand, if they were given like the same position as him, I'm pretty sure they would be trying to do the best they would do. Well, that's it. Enough of my ramblings, but this review's over. See you the next review. Macross Delta and Tales of Zestria the Cross. See everyone later. Bye.